Om apavitra pavitro va sarva avasthang gatopi va StMoritz pundarika akshang sabhakya abhyantara shuchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu mukam karoti vachalang pangum langhayate girim yat kripatamahang vande Sri Gurum Dinataranam. Yat kripatamahang vande Parama Ananda Madhavam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so where we left off last week, the battle began between the party led by Lord Shiva on behalf of Bana Asura, because Lord Shiva considered Bana Asura like his own son. So the war was waged. Lord Shiva, along with his two sons, Kartikeya and Ganesh, and so many other soldiers, they fought on behalf of Bana Asura. And there Krishna and Balaram came to the defense of Aniruddha. And we learned also that Lord Shiva was defeated by Lord Krishna, and Krishna treated his great devotee Lord Shiva by not killing him, not injuring him, but making him fall asleep by releasing his yawning weapon. Then Lord Krishna fought with Bana Asura, but Bana Asura somehow or other escaped. So then Lord Shiva released his personal weapon, Shiva Dwar, intense heat. But Krishna counteracted with these Narayana Jwar, or Narayana weapon, which was extreme cold. And when we left off, Shiva Dwar could not tolerate the Narayana Jwar. So Shiva Dwar had no other recourse. He had to take shelter of Krishna, because Lord Shiva could not save him, could not protect him. So the Shiva Dwar approached Krishna, and now we will hear the prayers that Shiva Dwar recited as he surrendered to Krishna. Oh, my dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you, because you have unlimited potencies. No one can surpass your potencies, and thus you are the Lord of everyone. Generally, most people consider Lord Shiva to be the most powerful personality within the material world. But I say that Lord Shiva is not all-powerful. No, you, Krishna, are all-powerful. And this is a fact. My dear Lord Krishna, you are the original consciousness, or original knowledge. Without knowledge or consciousness, nothing can be powerful. A material thing may be very powerful, but without the touch of consciousness, it cannot act. A material machine, for example, may be gigantic and wonderful, But without the touch of someone conscious and in knowledge, the material machine is useless for all purposes. My Lord, you are complete knowledge, and there is not a pinch of material contamination in your entire personality. Lord Shiva may be a powerful demigod because of his specific power to annihilate the whole creation. And similarly, Lord Brahma may also be very powerful because he can create the entire universe. But actually, neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva is the original cause of this cosmic manifestation. You are the absolute truth. You are the supreme Brahman, and you are the original cause of everything. The original cause of this cosmic manifestation is not, as some people mistakenly think, to be the impersonal Brahman effulgence. That impersonal Brahman effulgence rests only on your personality. So now Prabhupada at this point feels compelled to explain this last item. Prabhupada comments, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyayasya cha shasvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kantikasya cha. The cause of the impersonal Brahman is Lord Krishna himself. This Brahman effulgence is likened to the sunshine, which emanates from the sun globe. Therefore, impersonal Brahman is not the ultimate cause. The ultimate cause of everything is the supreme eternal form of Krishna. All material actions and reactions take place within the impersonal Brahman, but in the personal Brahman, or the eternal form of Krishna, there is no action or reaction. Shivadwar then continued to pray to Krishna. Therefore, my Lord, your body is completely peaceful, completely blissful, and devoid of material contamination. In the material body, there are actions and reactions of the three modes of material nature. The time factor is the most important element above all others, because the material manifestation is effected by the agitation of time. Thus, all natural phenomena come into existence, and as soon as phenomena appear, fruitive activities are visible. As the result of these fruitive activities, a living entity takes his or her form. One acquires a particular nature packed up within a subtle body and gross body formed by the light air, the false ego, the 10 sense organs, the mind, and the 5 gross elements. These then create the type of body which later becomes the root cause of various other bodies which are acquired one after another by means of the transmigration of the soul. All these phenomenal manifestations are the combined actions of your material energy. However, you are the cause of this external energy, and thus you remain unaffected by action and reaction of the different material elements. And because you are transcendental to such compulsions of material energy, you are the supreme tranquility. You are the last word in freedom from material contamination. I therefore take shelter at your lotus feet, giving up all other shelter. My dear Lord, your appearance as the son of Vasudeva in your role as a human being is one of the pastimes of your complete freedom. In order to benefit your devotees and vanquish the non-devotees, you appear in multi-incarnations. All such incarnations descend in fulfillment of your promise in Bhagavad Gita that you appear as soon as there are discrepancies in the system of progressive life. When there are disturbances by irregular principles, my dear Lord, you appear by your internal potency. Your main business is to protect and maintain the demigods and spiritually inclined persons, and to maintain the standard of material law and order. Considering your mission to maintain such law and order, your violence toward the miscreants and demons is therefore quite befitting. And this is not the first time you have incarnated, for it is to be understood that you have incarnated many, many times before. My dear Lord, I beg to submit that I have been very greatly chastised by the release of your Narayana-shvara, which is certainly very cooling, yet at the same time severely dangerous and unbearable for all of us. My dear Lord, as long as one is forgetful of Krishna consciousness, driven by the spell of material desires, and ignorant of the ultimate shelter found at your lotus feet, one who has accepted this material body becomes disturbed by the three miserable conditions of material nature. Because one does not surrender unto you, he or she continues to suffer perpetually. So after hearing Shiva Dwar, Lord Krishna replied, O three-headed one, I am pleased with your statements. Be rest assured that there will be no more suffering from you from my Narayana-shvara. Not only are you now free from fear of the Narayana-shvara, but anyone in the future who simply recollects this fight between you and my Narayana-shvara will also be freed from all kinds of fear. So, I want to read this again so that we are all firmly convinced, and this blessing that we just got from Krishna will remain packed up in our hearts. O three-headed one, I am pleased with your statements. Be assured that there will be no more suffering from you from Narayana-shvara. For not only are you now free from fear from Narayana-shvara, but anyone in the future who simply recollects this fight between you and my Narayana-shwar will also be freed from all kinds of fear. After hearing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Shiva Dwar offered respectful obeisances unto Krishna's lotus feet and left. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This next episode is entitled, Lord Shiva Prays to Lord Krishna to Spare Bana Asura. In the meantime, Bana Asura somehow or other recovered from his setbacks, and now, with rejuvenated energy, returned to fight Krishna. This time, Bana Asura, with different kinds of weapons in his 1,000 hands, appeared before Lord Krishna, who was seated on his chariot. Bana Asura, now very much agitated, splashed his different weapons upon the body of Lord Krishna like torrents of rain. When Lord Krishna saw the weapons of Bana Asura coming at him, just like water coming out of a strainer, Krishna took his sharp-edged Sudarshana Chakra and began cutting off Bana Asura's 1,000 arms, one after another, just as a gardener trims the twigs of a tree with sharp cutters. Now Lord Shiva felt inclined to help Bana Asura because the demon had showed great devotion to Lord Shiva, as Bana Asura used to provide musical accompaniment for Shiva's Tandava dance. And another reason Bana was an object of Lord Shiva's favor is that Bana Asura was a descendant of the great devotees Prahlad and Bali Maharaj. When Lord Shiva saw that his devotee Bana Asura could not be saved, even in his presence, Shiva personally came before Lord Krishna and began to pacify Krishna by offering the following prayers. My dear Lord, you are the worshipable object of the Vedic hymns. One who does not know you considers the impersonal Brahma Jyoti to be the ultimate supreme absolute truth, without knowledge that you exist behind your spiritual effulgence in your eternal abode. My dear Lord, you are therefore called Para-Brahman. Indeed, the words Parang Brahman have been used in Bhagavad Gita to identify you. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vayasya cha shasvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya kantikasya cha. Saintly persons who have completely cleansed their hearts of all material contamination can realize your transcendental form, although at the same time you are all-pervading like the sky and unaffected by any material thing. But only devotees can realize you and no one else. In the impersonalist conception of your supreme existence, The sky is just like your navel. Fire is your mouth. And water is your semen. The heavenly planets are your head. All the directions are your ears. Urvi, or the earth, is your lotus feet. The moon is your mind, and the sun is your eye. And as far as I am concerned, I act as your ego. The ocean is your abdomen, and the king of heaven, Indra, is your arm. Trees and plants are the hairs on your body. The clouds are the hair on your head. And Lord Brahma is your intelligence. All the great progenitors, known as Prajapatis, are your symbolic representatives. And religion is your heart. Thus, the impersonal feature of your supreme body is conceived in this way. But you are ultimately the supreme person. The impersonal feature of your supreme body is only a small expansion of your energy. You are likened to the original fire, and your expansions are its light and heat. My dear Lord, since you are manifest universally, the different parts of the universe are the different parts of your body. And by your inconceivable potency, simultaneously you can be both localized and universal. In the Brahma Samhita, we also find it stated that although you will always remain in your abode, Goloka Vrindavan, you still are present everywhere. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya Sadhunam, you appear in order to protect the devotees, which indicates good fortune for all the universe. All of the demigods are directing different affairs of the universe only by your grace. Thus, the 7 upper planetary systems are maintained by your grace. And at the end of this creation, all manifestations of your various energies, whether in the shape of demigods, human beings, or lower animals, enter into you in your form as Mahavishnu. And all immediate and remote causes of the cosmic manifestation then rest in you without distinctive features of existence. Ultimately, there is no possibility of distinction between you and any other thing on an equal level with you or above you. You are Asammaurdva. You are simultaneously the cause of this cosmic manifestation and its ingredients as well. You are the supreme whole. You are one without a second. In the phenomenal manifestation of the material cosmic world, there are 3 stages. The stage of consciousness, the stage of semi-consciousness found in dreaming, and the stage of unconsciousness. But your Lordship is transcendental to all these different material stages of existence. You exist, therefore, in a 4th dimension, and you appear and disappear and do not depend on anything beyond yourself. You are the supreme cause of everything. But for you, there is no other cause. You yourself cause your own appearance and disappearance. Despite your transcendental position, my Lord, in order to show your six opulences and advertise your transcendental qualities, you have appeared in your different incarnations as Matsya, the fish, as Kurma, the tortoise, as Varaha, the boar, as Nisringa, half man, half lion, Keshava, and others, all of these appearing by your personal manifestation. And you have appeared as the innumerable different living entities under the category of separated manifestations, Vibhinna Angsha. It is by your internal potency that you appear as the different incarnations of Vishnu, or Swangsha, and it is by your external potency that you appear as this phenomenal world. Now, because it may be a cloudy day, to the common man's eyes, the sun appears to be covered on such a cloudy day. But the real fact is that because the sunshine creates the cloud, the sun itself can never actually be covered, even though the whole sky may be cloudy. Similarly, less intelligent men claim that there is no God. But when the manifestation of living entities and their activities becomes visible, enlightened persons see you present in every atom through the via media of your external and marginal potencies. Your unlimitedly potent activities are experienced by the most enlightened devotees. But those who are bewildered by the spell of your external energy identify themselves with this temporary material world and become attached to so-called society, friendship, and love. And thus, they embrace the threefold miseries of material existence and are subsequently subjected to the dualities of pain and pleasure, sometimes drowning in the ocean of attachment and sometimes being taken out of it. Oh, my dear Lord, only by your mercy and grace can the living entity get the human form of life, which is a chance to get out of the miserable condition of material existence. However, a person who possesses a human body, but who cannot bring his or her senses under control, is carried away by the waves of sensual enjoyment. As such, he or she cannot take shelter at your lotus feet and engage in your devotional service. The life of such a person is very unfortunate, and anyone living such a life of darkness is certainly cheating him or herself, and also cheating others. Therefore, human society without Krishna consciousness is but a society of cheaters and the cheated. My Lord, you are actually the dearmost supersoul of all living entities, and you are the supreme controller of everything. The human being who is illusioned is always afraid of ultimate death. A man who is simply attached to sensual enjoyment voluntarily accepts miserable material existence and thus wanders after the will of the wisp of sense pleasure. Such a man is certainly the most foolish man, for he drinks poison and puts aside actual nectar. My dear Lord, all the demigods, including myself and Lord Brahma, as well as great saintly persons and sages, who have cleansed their hearts of material attachment, have, by your grace, wholeheartedly taken shelter of your lotus feet. We have all taken shelter of you, Krishna, because we have accepted you as the Supreme Lord and the dearmost life and soul of all of us. You, Krishna, are the original cause of this cosmic manifestation. You are its dissolution and the cause. You are its supreme maintainer. My Lord, you are equal to everyone. You are the most peaceful, supreme friend of every living entity. You are the supreme, worshipable object for every one of us. And so, my dear Lord, let us always be engaged in your transcendental loving service, so that we may get free from this material entanglement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This last section is called Conclusion. Lord Shiva concluded by saying to Krishna, "Lastly, my Lord, I may inform you that this Bana Asura is very dear to me. For Bana Asura has rendered valuable service unto me. Therefore, I want to see him always happy. Being pleased with Bana Asura, I have assured him safety. I pray to you, my Lord, that just as you were pleased with his forefathers, King Prahlad and Bali Maharaj, that you will also be pleased with this Bana Asura." After hearing Lord Shiva's prayer, Lord Krishna addressed Lord Shiva. "My dear Lord Shiva, yes, I accept all of your statements, and I also accept your desire for Bana Asura. I know that this Bana Asura is the son of Bali Maharaj, and so as such, I cannot kill him, for that was my promise. Long ago, I gave a benediction to King Prahlad that the demons who would appear in his family would never again be killed by me after I had killed Prahlad's father, Hiranyakashipu. So therefore, without killing this Bana Asura, I have simply cut off his arms in order to deprive Bana Asura of his false prestige. The large number of soldiers Bana Asura was maintaining had become a burden on this earth, and I have killed them all only to minimize the earth's burden. Now, Bana Asura has 4 remaining arms, and he will remain immortal, unaffected by material pains and pleasures. I know that Bana Asura is one of the chief devotees of your lordship, so you can now rest assured that henceforward Bana Asura need have no fear from anything. When Bana Asura was thus blessed by Lord Krishna in this way, Bana Asura came before Krishna and bowed down before him, touching his head to the earth. Bana Asura immediately arranged to have his daughter Usha seated with Aniruddha on a nice chariot. And then Bana Asura presented them both before Lord Krishna. After this, Lord Krishna took charge of Aniruddha and Usha, who had become very opulent materially because of the blessings of Lord Shiva. Thus, keeping forward a division of one Akshauhini of soldiers, Krishna proceeded towards Dwaraka. And in the meantime, all the people of Dwaraka, having received the news that Lord Krishna was returning with Aniruddha and Usha in great opulence, decorated every corner of the city with flags, festoons, and garlands. All the big roads and crossings were carefully cleansed and sprinkled with sandalwood pulp mixed with water. Everywhere was the fragrance of sandalwood. All the citizens joined their friends and relatives, welcoming Lord Krishna with great pomp and jubilation. And a tumultuous vibration of conchs, drums, and bugles received Krishna. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, entered his capital, Dwaraka. Shukadeva Goswami has assured King Parikshit that the narration of the fight between Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna is not inauspicious whatsoever, like ordinary fights. On the contrary, if one remembers in the morning the narration of this fight between Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva, and also takes pleasure in the victory of Lord Krishna, he or she will never experience defeat anywhere in his or her struggle of life. This episode of Bana Asura fighting with Krishna and later being saved by the grace of Lord Shiva is confirmation of the statement in Bhagavad Gita, Sattaya Sradaya Yuktas Tasya Radhanam Ihate Labate Chattatak Kamam Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan. Krishna says in the Gita that worshippers of demigods cannot achieve any benediction without its being sanctioned by the Supreme Lord Krishna. So here in this narration we find that although Bana Asura was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, when Bana Asura faced death by Krishna, Lord Shiva was not able to save Bana Asura. But Lord Shiva appealed to Krishna to save his devotee, and that was sanctioned by Krishna. So this is the position of Lord Krishna. The exact words used in this connection in Bhagavad Gita are Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan, which means that without the sanction of the Supreme Lord Krishna, no demigod can award any benediction to his or her worshiper. Let me repeat that. Mayaiva Vihitan Hitan indicates that without the sanction of the Supreme Lord Krishna, no demigod can award any benediction to his or her worshiper. Om Tat Sat.